Dear viewers, my channel focuses on honoring the lives and legacies of American celebrities. In today's video, we will discuss 3 such American celebrities. First, Phil Robertson, the business mogul and reality show star who rose from poverty to create the Duck Commander and Duck Dynasty empires, died May 25, 2025. Robertson grew up in deeply rural Louisiana without electricity or toilets in his home, often living off the land. His high school athleticism helped him earn his way into Louisiana Tech University, where he played football alongside future Hall of Famer Terry Bradshaw. However, despite interest from recruiters, Robertson had no interest in playing football professionally. He preferred to hunt and fish. In the early 1970s, he invented the Duck Commander duck call, which better mimicked the actual sound of ducks than earlier models. The Duck Commander became a huge success, eventually leading to Duck Dynasty, an A&E reality show that put a spotlight not just on Robertson's business, but on a colorful cast of characters, most of whom were his family. The show was a big hit, ran for 11 seasons, made the Robertson stars, and helped turn Robertson into an icon of outdoor living. His expressions of faith and outspoken views also made him popular among conservative Christian audiences. Next, Peter David, a prolific writer whose work on The Incredible Hulk proved widely influential, died May 24, 2025, at the age of 68 after a long period of poor health. A lifelong fan of superheroes, fantasy, and science fiction, David developed an interest in writing through his father, Gunter, who did movie reviews for his local newspaper. While working in sales for Marvel Comics in the mid-1980s, he broke through as a writer in the pages of The Spectacular Spider-Man, penning the death of John DeWolfe, a story now considered one of the great Spider-Man arcs. However, it was taking over writing duties on The Incredible Hulk in 1985 that cemented his legacy for all time. David ended up writing the Hulk for 12 years, during which time he gave the character a new jolt of popularity thanks to his explorations of multiple personality disorder and Bruce Banner's troubled childhood. He presented varied permutations of the character, from raging green monsters to intelligent gray versions and everything in between. Then Charles Rangel, a longtime congressman from New York City who served for 46 years and who headed the House Ways and Means Committee until ethics violations resulted in his censure, died May 26, 2025, in New York City at the age of 96. Rangel was a U.S. Army veteran before serving in Congress, rising to staff sergeant and earning a Bronze Star with valor and a Purple Heart in the Korean War for his efforts in the Battle of Kunu-ri. Once back home, he graduated from law school, did legal work, and entered the world of politics in the 1960s. He served in the New York State Legislature until 1970, then made the leap to Congress in 1971, where he remained for the next 46 years. Now let's discuss in detail Phil Robertson, the life and legacy of the Duck Commander. Phil Alexander Robertson, born on April 24, 1946 in Vivian, Louisiana, is a man whose life has traversed a dramatic arc from humble beginnings and personal struggles to fame, influence, and spiritual devotion. Best known as the patriarch of the Robertson family featured in the reality television series Duck Dynasty, Phil is also a former college football quarterback, entrepreneur, author, and outspoken Christian evangelist. Early life and education. Phil was born into poverty, the 5th of 7 children in a family that struggled to make ends meet. The Robertsons lived in a small house with no electricity, plumbing, or many of the basic amenities. His upbringing in rural Louisiana instilled in him a deep appreciation for the outdoors, self-reliance, and traditional values. Despite financial hardships, Phil excelled in athletics, especially football. He earned a scholarship to Louisiana Tech University, where he played quarterback from 1965 to 1967. Interestingly, his backup was none other than Terry Bradshaw, who would go on to become a Pro Football Hall of Famer and 4-time Super Bowl champion. While Bradshaw pursued a career in the NFL, Robertson made the unconventional choice to walk away from football as it conflicted with his passion for hunting and the outdoor lifestyle. Early adulthood and struggles. After college, Phil married his high school sweetheart, Marcia K. Caraway, known as Miss K, in 1966. The couple would eventually have 4 sons: Alan, Jace, Willie, and Jep. In his early adult years, however, Phil's life was far from stable. He struggled with alcohol abuse, infidelity, and anger, which strained his marriage and family life. His turning point came in the 1970s when he became a born-again Christian. His conversion profoundly changed the trajectory of his life. Phil renounced his destructive behaviors and began to rebuild his family and his life based on Christian faith. He became a devout member of the White's Ferry Road Church of Christ in West Monroe, Louisiana, and soon began sharing his testimony and preaching to others. The birth of Duck Commander. Phil's passion for duck hunting eventually became the foundation for a thriving business. Unsatisfied with the quality of commercial duck calls, he began crafting his own in the early 1970s. In 1973, he founded Duck Commander, a company that produced handmade duck calls and other hunting merchandise. His invention, the Duck Commander duck call, gained popularity for its effectiveness and authenticity. Though the company was slow to take off at first, Phil's relentless dedication and grassroots marketing helped it grow steadily. His son, Willie Robertson, who earned a business degree from Harding University, later took over as CEO and significantly expanded the brand's reach. Under Willie's leadership, Duck Commander became a multi-million-dollar enterprise, gaining national attention and laying the groundwork for the family's future media ventures. Duck Dynasty and fame. In 2012, the Robertson family burst into the national spotlight with the debut of Duck Dynasty on A&E. The reality television series followed the lives of the Robertson clan, combining humor, family dynamics, and faith-based values with scenes of duck hunting and backwoods adventures. Phil, with his long beard, camo attire, and distinctive Louisiana drawl, quickly became a central figure and fan favorite. Duck Dynasty was an unexpected ratings juggernaut. At its peak, the show attracted millions of viewers and became one of the most watched cable TV series in history. Its success brought the Robertson family widespread fame and wealth, along with lucrative book deals, merchandise, and speaking engagements. Throughout the series, Phil was portrayed as a wise, old-fashioned patriarch grounded in faith, tradition, and practical wisdom. His nightly dinner table prayers became a hallmark of the show and a symbol of the family. Commitment to Christian values. Controversy and public image. Phil's unapologetic views on morality, politics, and religion have also made him a polarizing figure. In a 2013 interview with GQ magazine, he sparked national controversy with remarks that were widely criticized as homophobic and racially insensitive. The comments led to his temporary suspension from Duck Dynasty by A&E, though he was quickly reinstated after a massive outpouring of support from fans and conservative groups. Phil defended his statements as a reflection of his biblical worldview, and he has continued to speak out on cultural and political issues, often taking positions aligned with evangelical Christianity and conservative ideology. To his supporters, he is a courageous truth-teller. To critics, a symbol of outdated and intolerant views. Post-Duck Dynasty life. Duck Dynasty concluded in 2017 after 11 successful seasons, but Phil has remained active in public life. He frequently appears on conservative media outlets and podcasts, including Unashamed with Phil and Jace Robertson, where he discusses theology, politics, and personal stories with his sons. Phil has also authored several books, including Happy, 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 My Life and Legacy as the Duck Commander, 2013. Unfiltered, The Way I See It, 2014. The Theft of America's Soul, Blowing the Lid Off the Lies That Are Destroying Our Country, 2019. Jesus Politics, How to Win Back the Soul of America, 2020. Each book blends autobiography with social commentary, drawing from Phil's life experiences and scriptural interpretation. Legacy and Personal Philosophy. Phil Robertson's life embodies a story of redemption, resilience, and unapologetic conviction. From his early struggles with addiction and moral failure to his later role as a spiritual leader and media personality, Phil's journey is a testament to the transformative power of faith and the importance of staying true to one's beliefs. He has remained married to Miss K for nearly 6 decades, despite many challenges, and often credits her with being the anchor that helped him through his darkest times. Together, they have built a multi-generational legacy of faith, family, and entrepreneurship. Phil's philosophy is simple but powerful. Live off the land, love your family, honor God, and speak the truth, even when it's unpopular. In an age of cultural change and shifting values, Phil Robertson has become both a controversial figure and a cultural icon, embodying a brand of rugged Americana rooted in faith, freedom, and family tradition. Peter David, a prolific voice in genre fiction. Peter David is a celebrated American writer whose name has become synonymous with inventive storytelling, complex character development, and genre-defining contributions across comics, novels, and screenwriting. With a career spanning more than 4 decades, David has written for nearly every major comic book publisher and has crafted a legacy of influential work in both superhero and science fiction fantasy genres. Best known for his long tenure on The Incredible Hulk, his contributions to Spider-Man 2099, X-Factor, and numerous Star Trek novels, David's unique blend of humor, pathos, and narrative innovation has earned him a dedicated following and critical acclaim. Early life and education. Peter Allen David was born on September 23, 1956 in Fort Meade, Maryland. His father was in the military, and his family moved frequently, which exposed him to a wide range of cultures and environments at a young age. A voracious reader from childhood, David developed an early love for comic books, science fiction, and fantasy literature. He attended New York University, where he studied journalism and educational background that would inform his concise, impactful writing style. Early career and breakthrough in comics. David began his professional writing career as a journalist and later worked in the sales department at Marvel Comics. This position granted him insight into the comic book industry and helped him make connections with editors and writers. His big break came in the mid-1980s when he was given the opportunity to write for Marvel. His first major assignment was on the Spectacular Spider-Man, where his witty dialogue and layered character work caught the attention of readers and editors alike. However, it was his work on The Incredible Hulk, beginning with issue number 331 in 1987, that truly launched David into the spotlight. Teaming initially with artist Todd McFarlane, David redefined the character by exploring Bruce Banner's dissociative identity disorder, crafting a Hulk that was psychologically nuanced and emotionally compelling. His 12-year run on the title is still considered one of the most definitive in the character's history. David's ability to balance superhero action with psychological depth became a hallmark of his style, expanding his reach, novels, and Star Trek. Parallel to his work in comics, David established himself as a prolific novelist, especially in the Star Trek franchise. Beginning in the late 1980s, he authored numerous Star Trek novels, including bestsellers such as Imzadi, Q Squared, and the New Frontier series. His novels were praised for their deep characterizations, moral complexity, and ability to expand the Star Trek universe while remaining faithful to its spirit. New Frontier in particular was a major success as it featured an entirely original cast of characters, proving David's skill in world-building and narrative independence. Beyond Star Trek, David has written original fantasy and science fiction novels, including the Sir Apropos of Nothing series, a satirical fantasy saga that skewers the conventions of the genre while telling an engaging and character-driven story. His ability to mix biting humor with compelling narrative is a distinguishing trait of his prose. X-Factor and Marvel Legacy. In the early 2000s, Peter David returned to Marvel for a critically acclaimed run on X-Factor, reviving the team as a noir-style detective agency. This iteration of the series X-Factor Investigations was lauded for its sharp writing, emotional depth, and LGBTQ+ representation, particularly through characters like Richter and Shatterstar. The book explored themes of identity, trauma, and the ethics of superpowers in a modern world, showcasing David's continued relevance and evolution as a writer. David also created Spider-Man 2099 in the early 1990s, introducing Miguel O'Hara, a futuristic Spider-Man of mixed Mexican and Irish descent. The series became a fan favorite and remains a seminal work in Marvel's alternate universe storytelling. David later returned to the character in various miniseries and crossover events, television, film, and video games. Peter David's storytelling abilities have also extended to television and film. He has written scripts and episodes for animated series such as Young Justice, Ben 10, Alien Force, Babylon 5, and Space Cases, a short-lived but beloved Nickelodeon sci-fi show he co-created with Bill Mumy. He also worked in Hollywood on screen adaptations and was a frequent collaborator with producers interested in comic and science fiction properties. David contributed to several animated film adaptations of Marvel characters and wrote novelizations for blockbuster films including Spider-Man 2 and The Incredible Hulk. In the world of video games, David has provided scripts and storylines, contributing his talent to interactive storytelling and expanding the narrative possibilities of gaming franchises. Awards and recognition. Throughout his career, Peter David has received numerous accolades for his work. He is a multiple-time winner of the Hackster Award and has won the Eisner Award, one of the highest honors in comic books. In 2011, he received the GLAAD Media Award for Outstanding Comic Book for X Factor, highlighting his contributions to inclusive storytelling. His work continues to be studied in courses on comics and popular culture, and he remains a featured guest at conventions and literary events around the world. David is also an outspoken advocate for creators' rights and freedom of expression within the comics industry. Personal life and health challenges. Peter David is married to Kathleen O'Shea David, with whom he has collaborated on several projects. They have children, and he often credits his family as both an inspiration and a grounding force in his life. In December 2012, David suffered a stroke that temporarily affected his speech and motor functions. His recovery was closely followed by fans, and he chronicled the experience in a candid and hopeful way on his blog and social media. His resilience and determination to return to writing were celebrated by his peers and readers alike. Legacy and continued influence. Peter David's influence on modern comic book storytelling is both vast and enduring. He helped usher in a more character-focused and psychologically rich approach to superheroes at a time when such depth was rare in mainstream comics. His work has inspired a generation of writers to push the boundaries of genre fiction, and his characters continue to thrive across various media. Whether scripting iconic characters, creating new ones, or crafting compelling science fiction and fantasy epics, Peter David remains a cornerstone figure in genre storytelling. His voice, witty, emotional, and often subversive, continues to resonate with readers around the world. Charles B. Rangel. A Life of Public Service and Advocacy. Charles Bernard Rangel, born on June 11, 1930 in Harlem, New York City, is a distinguished American politician, lawyer, and Korean War veteran who served as a U.S. representative from 1971 to 2017. A founding member of the Congressional Black Caucus and one of the most influential African-American lawmakers in U.S. history, Rangel's legacy spans over 4 decades of legislative accomplishments, civil rights advocacy, and community development. Early life and education. Rangel was born into a working-class family in Harlem during the Great Depression. His father, Ralph Rangel, was of Puerto Rican descent, and his mother, Blanche Rangel, was African-American. Raised primarily by his mother after his father abandoned the family, Rangel grew up in poverty but showed early promise. He attended DeWitt Clinton High School but dropped out at age 16. His life took a pivotal turn when he joined the U.S. Army. Military service. Rangel served in the U.S. Army during the Korean War, where he became a hero. He was a member of the all-black 503rd Field Artillery Battalion and fought in one of the most grueling battles of the war, the Battle of Kunuri. During this engagement in 1950, Rangel led his comrades out of a deadly Chinese encirclement despite being wounded. For his courage and leadership, he received a Bronze Star with Valor, a Purple Heart, and other commendations. Rangel later credited this experience with changing his life and giving him the determination to serve others. Education and early career. Upon returning from Korea, Rangel took advantage of the GI Bill to complete his education. He earned a high school diploma, then attended New York University, graduating in 1957. He went on to St. John's University School of Law, where he earned his law degree in 1960. Rangel began his legal career as a private attorney, later working as an assistant U.S. attorney for the Southern District of New York. His work focused on organized crime and corruption, further deepening his commitment to justice and reform. Entry into politics. Rangel's political career began in earnest in the mid-1960s. He served in the New York State Assembly from 1967 to 1970, where he gained a reputation for being a principled and passionate advocate for Harlem and underserved communities. In 1970, he ran for the U.S. House of Representatives, defeating incumbent Adam Clayton Powell, Jr. in a contentious Democratic primary. Rangel's victory marked the beginning of a new era in Harlem politics. Congressional career. Charles Rangel represented New York's 18th, then 19th, and finally the 13th congressional districts from 1971 to 2017, serving 23 terms in Congress. Over the course of his long career, he became one of the most powerful figures on Capitol Hill. Legislative achievements. Rangel focused on issues such as education, healthcare, urban development, tax reform, and veterans' rights. He was a staunch advocate for civil rights and economic justice. He played a key role in expanding the Earned Income Tax Credit, EITC, increasing access to affordable housing, and improving public education funding. As a founding member of the Congressional Black Caucus in 1971, Rangel worked alongside other African American legislators to amplify the voices of Black Americans in the federal government. The caucus became a powerful platform for pushing civil rights legislation and policies aimed at reducing poverty and inequality. In 2007, Rangel became chairman of the powerful House Ways and Means Committee, which oversees taxation, tariffs, Social Security, and Medicare. He was the first African American to hold the position. During his tenure, he championed tax reform policies aimed at reducing the deficit while protecting low- and middle-income Americans. Ethics controversies. Despite his numerous accomplishments, Rangel's career was not without controversy. In 2008, he came under investigation for multiple ethics violations, including improper solicitation of charitable donations, failure to disclose income and assets, and misuse of rent-controlled apartments. In 2010, the House Ethics Committee found Rangel guilty on 11 counts of misconduct. He was censured by the House, the most serious disciplinary action short of expulsion. Rangel accepted responsibility for some of the violations, though he maintained that they were the result of carelessness, not corruption. Despite the scandal, he remained popular in his district and was re-elected several times after the censure. Later years and retirement. In 2014, Rangel announced that he would not seek re-election after his term ended in 2017. His retirement marked the end of a 46-year congressional career, one of the longest in U.S. history. After leaving Congress, Rangel continued to be active in public affairs, often speaking on issues related to race, poverty, and justice. He also founded the Charles B. Rangel Center for Public Service at the City College of New York, which aims to inspire and prepare young people for careers in public service. Personal life and legacy. Rangel married Alma Rangel in 1964, and they have 2 children. Throughout his life, he has been known for his charisma, sharp wit, and unyielding dedication to his community. Rangel's legacy is multifaceted. He is widely respected for his role in shaping tax policy, his leadership in the Congressional Black Caucus, and his unwavering commitment to Harlem. He was a trailblazer for African Americans in Congress and a passionate voice for the poor and marginalized. Even critics of his ethical lapses acknowledge his significant contributions to the legislative process and civil rights. His ability to navigate the corridors of power in Washington while maintaining strong roots in his community earned him admiration across the political spectrum. Honors and recognition. Charles Rangel has received numerous awards and honors, including over 30 honorary degrees from various institutions. The Charles B. Rangel International Affairs Program, funded by the U.S. Department of State and administered by Howard University, prepares students from underrepresented backgrounds for careers in the Foreign Service. In Harlem, he is a celebrated figure, with streets, buildings, and institutions named in his honor. His autobiography, "And I Haven't Had a Bad Day Since." From the streets of Harlem to the halls of Congress, offers a candid and compelling account of his life and career. Conclusion. Charles Rangel's life is a testament to resilience, service, and leadership. From the battlefields of Korea to the halls of Congress, he devoted himself to fighting for justice, equity, and opportunity. Despite the controversies that marred his later years, his legacy as a pioneer in American politics and a champion of the underserved endures.